It's a day that started with Virat Kohli's first away Test 100 in nearly 5 years, but it's one that's ended as a day that West Indies could finally call their own. The fifth day of the series, the second day at Port of Spain, West Indies have had a good day out. Deep Dasgupta here with us on ESPN Cricinfo Match Day to look back at day two of the second test at Port of Spain. Deep, considering India were 341 for 4 just past the first hour, to then have them bowled out for 438 and more importantly finish with 86 for 1. That's already more than half the runs they managed in either of their innings last time around. West Indies have to see this as a happy day.
Definitely, yes, a lot more fight than what we've seen so far in this whole series, including day one. So, obviously, having said that, I think, again, bowling wise, really can't complain. Even in the first test, I think we had the same discussion. I thought they were extremely disciplined. I think we saw more of that on day two as well. Just bowling the right lines, the right areas, and letting things happen because this is that kind of a surface where, as a bowler, all you can do is just put in the right areas and expect the batters to kind of, start playing a few shots and commit a mistake there. And I think that's what they did so well this whole day. The West Indian bowlers is just bowl that right channel, the right areas.
Yes, and as good as that bowling was, I think the biggest collective sigh of relief would be in the dressing room after a day's play that the batters. You've batted 40 plus overs, you've
Yes.
looked solid. Yes, there might not be much on the pitch, but there wasn't much in the pitch in Dominica either, where West Indies
Yeah.
made a sum total of 280 runs. But this time around, a solid opening partnership. Ejnara and Chandapal did get out, but the captain's looking good, and the debutants look good in this short burst. A six of Ashwin, that
Yeah.
doesn't come easy for most left-handers.
And not just that six, even that cover drive. I thought that was also very, very elegant. Looks like a really good talent. I think we've discussed this before as well. The fact that I've heard quite a few good things about this youngster Mackenzie, and whatever little we've seen so far, he looks nice and compact, and it seems like a well-rounded batter. A good combination of attacking stroke play and also the defensive side of things as well. So he comes across as a well-rounded batter. All we need to see is whether he has the temperament to bat long innings at this level or not. But so far, I mean, it's been a really good effort from the batters as well. We've definitely seen more fight from them, a little more, the hunger to just hang in there. That resilience was quite evident. And also, I mean, you mentioned about the pitch. I think from that perspective, this pitch is that much better to bat on. The last one was extremely slow, was definitely turning a lot more. This is more of a pitch where I'd say it's good for batting, not just good for batting, but good for scoring runs. So yeah, as so far they've been enjoying that as well.
In the 40 overs that we saw of the West Indian innings, did you feel there was anything the Indian bowlers could have done differently, even given the fact that there's not much on offer for them?
I don't think so. I think again this is one of those surfaces where we saw the West Indian bowlers doing exactly what I think you need to do here, which is just be patient and just keep bowling the right areas, because sooner or later things will happen, and I think that's the way forward for the Indian bowlers as well. Obviously, there is a difference in terms of quality that we all would agree in terms of what the West Indian bowling unit has and what the Indian bowlers have in their ranks. That will obviously come through. There's no two ways about it. But as far as bowling plans are concerned, or so far what we've seen, that's what you need to do on this surface is just be patient, bowl the right areas, and things will happen.
As far as their footing in this game is concerned, of course, it was vital what they managed to do after the first hour when they were bowling. Because 341 for 4, you
Yeah.
get that run out of nowhere. But to have the last six falling for 97 in a period of 30 overs, they didn't let India score fast and they kept chipping away with the wickets, where you felt that India were probably looking set for 500.
Absolutely, and it was almost set for what we were talking about yesterday. Bat till tea, get another 200 odd runs on board, get to 500, then declare. But yeah, I mean, like you said, against the run of play, that run out happened, and then things kept happening for West Indies again. I mean, you've got to give a lot of credit for the patience that the bowlers have showed, the discipline that they've showed in both the Test matches, to be honest.
Yeah, only the third time in Virat Kohli's Test career that he's been run out. The previous two instances were both at Adelaide Oval, once in 2012, once in 2020. So clearly he gets run out at venues where he loves scoring centuries, because this is his fourth international 100 that he got to at Port of Spain, and Adelaide Oval, of course, is well known as Kohli's Oval in some parts of the world. But he did finally get there. Congratulations to you. Those 13 runs meant you got the prediction right. Those 13 runs meant Virat Kohli.
I don't think that was rocket science. The way Virat was batting yesterday, I think, yeah. I mean, come on, that's a huge achievement. 100 number 29. Listen, I mean, I think it was a really good innings, and again, something that didn't come very easy to him. He really had to work for it. So you've got to give more credit for that. I mean, we spoke about his innings yesterday as well, but yeah, and 100 after a while away from home.
Yeah, and we've dissected the innings when we spoke at the end
Yeah.
of day one. But I just want to ask, I know cricketers love saying that it doesn't matter. 99, 100 doesn't make a difference. But
It
when
does
it
matter.
has been a while and when
It
you are
does
that
matter.
used to it, it is a monkey off the back, right?
Oh, absolutely yes. I mean, absolutely yes. I mean, no matter what people say. I mean, numbers do matter, and especially, and I'll be honest, especially in when we look at our society as such, we most of our judgment is based on numbers, and more importantly, I think just the fact that he hadn't scored a hundred away from home or out of Asia, I believe, in so many years. Yeah, I mean, it's not just about what everyone else is saying. It's also about yourself, right? I mean, and Virat is someone who's said that himself before as well. It's about trying to prove himself. It's not about what anyone else is saying or what people think, but it's about proving to himself. And I think that would be monkey off his back, that 100. And yeah, I mean, I think he would be much relieved, happy, obviously, yes, but relieved as well.
Yes, and while there is now going to be a long gap before India next play Test cricket, they will obviously head towards that ODI World Cup cycle. If Virat Kohli is back to scoring Test runs away from home in big numbers, that bodes well, because the two remaining away series as part of this WTC cycle are both challenging ones. South Africa at the end of this year,
Yeah.
Australia at the end of next year. So India are hoping long may this continue. Just winding down on day two, Deep. Just looking at the match situation, since we are at the cusp of a weekend with a Christopher Nolan release, my mind goes back to one of his classic quotes: "The night
Yeah.
is darkest just before dawn." Is the dawn coming for West Indies? Could there be a way back?
Uh, Listen, I mean, they'd be competitive. It just seems like they're ready to fight it out in this test match. I think they're a little more determined as compared to the first test. I think the first test they just did not turn up, but I think so far they've shown that appetite to fight, and yeah, just want to see more of that. Just want to see more of McKenzie. I think he's looked really good. Brathwaite, again, if you look at it, he's obviously had a very quiet first test match. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see the fight. But end of it all, I think India still is going to be the dominating factor or dominating team here in this test match as well. But would love to see the fight from the West Indian side.